Hi guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to this new video, this time, for the first time, totally in English. I'm going to talk about Samurai Showdown, but before doing that, I would like to introduce myself because I think that nobody knows me, okay? Let me say that I opened this YouTube channel, I think 5 years ago, maybe. My first goal was to make a guide about Dark Souls 3 on the internet. Looking on YouTube, I found a lot of great videos talking about secret mechanics or about secret bosses or secret weapons. I think you know it is Bati Vidya, which is a great video creator, the content creator about Dark Souls and Soulsborne lore in general. I made several videos for Honor, blind runs, like for example Sekiro. I've always been a try-harder, you can say a try-harder. I would like to try this time to make this guide a small guide, so I'm gonna list all the 16 characters this time, and I'm gonna add some clips here and there just to give you some highlights of the gameplay. So if you want to start right now or tomorrow Samurai Showdown and understand how mechanics works and what is the easiest character to play and which is the hardest, you can start from here. Yashamaru Kurama is the tier list 1, so it's I think that he is the easiest character to use and to start with. And the 16th is so the hardest. Is Hattori Hanzo, which is quite confusing for your opponent and quite confusing for yourself if you don't understand how to use certain tools he has. Okay, number 1, Yashamaru Kurama. He has double jump, which is quite good because you get a lot of mobility with Yashamaru Kurama, and Samurai Showdown is all about the basics, so movements and neutral attacks, because you have to learn how to move yourself and how to use his attacks, which are extremely powerful and with a very great range, a great reach, but you need to understand the timing of the game at first, okay? 3 special moves, which are quite easy to perform, so it won't be difficult to learn and to remember all these 3 moves. You better watch your rage bar. Remember that when you do a rage burst, you're gonna have the rage status activated until the end of the burst, and after it you're gonna lose your rage bar for the rest of the game. So don't use it on the first round because a lot of moves, all the moves of Yashamaru Kurama are way better with the rage bar full. So if you lose your ability to go rage, his techniques won't be so good, okay? And it will be a lot harder for you to prevail at the end of the match. Ukyo is a great swordman. He doesn't have the double jump thing, so it will be a little bit harder to choose the right timing to jump, and his reach is a bit shorter, quite a bit shorter. If you compare him to Yashamaru Kurama, you have 3 special moves. 1 special move can be feinted, just an apple toss, and this is to confuse your opponent, okay, especially in some situation, maybe some clutch situations, okay. And there's a move which is a technique, is very powerful, is the Tsubame Gaeshi. A big fiery slash with your sword can be performed only in mid-air which it means that you can jump or you can backdash, because every time you backdash for the game is like that you are in mid-air, and this move is particularly good because it deals a lot of damage, and it can rebound the projectiles. This mechanic is quite good for offense and defense as well. You have to do a bit of practice in practice mode to understand how effectively do the Tsubame Gaeshi on command, on request, okay? So it's a bit harder, but is a very great character, and he has a very fast attack. The number 3 is Haohmaru. Haohmaru has a great reach instead of, if you compare to Ukyo, for example. Great reach, great damage. The moves are a bit more difficult because you have, for example, the Dragon Punch. You can use it from standing still, you can use it while running, and you can use it on the reverse, on the opposite side, so you can lunge towards your enemy and hit him from like with an overhead attack, which is quite good, and it's very fast, so it's easy to shorten your distance with Haohmaru. He has a typhoon, a small typhoon of fire, which goes towards your enemy, and this is quite good for controlling your opponent, you know. So this is definitely the third character. So the fourth character is Earthquake. So Earthquake is the big one, okay? He's the fat one. I don't really love the fat characters, so I tried it and I finished all the story mode with Earthquake, and I have to say it's very good. Big weapon, a lot of reach, it does a lot of damage, which introduces a new technique, which is a multiple hit combo, and you can do it just pressing multiple times the same button and holding forward on your left stick. He has the first replica attack. The replica attack are always attacks that let you teleport above or behind your opponent. He has the first command throw, which is different from the usual guard break, because a command throw usually you have to enter a sequence with the kick button, and is a throw that actually deals damage. Okay, let's go on and check the fifth character, which is Charlotte. Okay, Charlotte is a bit strange because for example, she deals a bit more damage when she's in the close range instead of when she's in the long range. Usually in this game, when you are far from your opponent, you deal more damage with the neutral attack, and when you are closer, instead, you do a bit less damage. Charlotte is working on the opposite way, so she's very good if you are close to your opponent, and is also very good on poking from afar. Okay, so you can control your opponent, and she has a kind of projectile which is a triangular projectile, and you can charge it. You can charge and release the button when you want the projectile to be thrown. So you can choose the timing very easily of when to launch your attack at your opponent. Okay, and she also has a command throw, always with the kick, but you don't have to be near your opponent to use that, but you can be a bit afar because she slides to the opponent and then makes the throw. So this is very good. Number 6 is Tam Tam. Tam Tam is a great character. This is one of the best character in the game. I saw several YouTube videos, and the moveset maybe is not so easy, but his neutrals are overpowered because they are really fast and they have a really a long reach, so you can do a lot of damage and be anyway safe. Plus Tam Tam is able to do the 90% of his special techniques without his weapon. So if you use Tam Tam and you lose your weapon, it's not that big of a disadvantage. With Tam Tam it's a bit easier. You can throw objectiles, which are some skulls, even without your sword. You can throw fireballs without your sword. You can do command throw. Unfortunately, I don't like the aesthetic of the character. So I mean, he's super tall, but he's always crouching. So it looks like a golem. Not even a golem, a gnome, something like that. I don't really like it. But anyway, he's a good character. The 7th character is Darli Dagger for me. Darli Dagger is a very good character. I really love her aesthetic. I really love her weapon. I think that Darli's weapon is one of the best weapons of Samurai Shodown. It reminds me about Bloodborne, for example. So it's a big saw that can become a hammer, can become a pinch, can become a lot of different stuff, like a spear. So it's very nice to see. She has some good special moves, and she has one great attack without her weapon. It deals a lot of damage, and while she's doing it, she has like a long charging animation, but you have hyper armor on that animation, so people can only block or run or dodge, okay, but if they attack you, they are going to pay it a lot harder, okay. She has a great reach, a long range weapon, which is always good because you can be quite safe throwing neutrals and don't be too scared about your opponent's replies, okay. Then we have the number 8, which is Genjuro. Genjuro is one of the best characters of the games. Now everybody knows it because, yeah, I saw several videos on YouTube, and more and more videos are coming out and show how Genjuro is really strong. SNK is very good at balancing the game and all the stuff. So for example, he has a projectile attack, but his projectile attack is really short. He has an overpowered kick from nearby your opponent. The kick is very good because you can connect a lot of different special techniques after the kick, so the kick is good. A command throw, and beware about his neutrals, and that's it. He has the first 3 hit special moves. If you connect with the first, you can hit with the second, and if you connect with the second, you can hit with the third attack. So it's a bit harder to use, but once you understand his set of techniques, you can use it quite good, I think. Then we have the character number 9, which is Ruixiang. Okay, Ruixiang is a strange character. I don't like her because I don't like, for example, her weapon, which is a shield. It's not properly a weapon. Okay, it's a magic shield. Okay, fine, but I prefer swords. And she looks a bit dumb. Her reach is really short. She has some good potential with her counter-attack moves or her traps, which are quite good because every time she hit you, and for example she hit you or you block her, you slide backwards, and if you have a trap just behind you, you get stuck into the trap, and she can use another neutral attack, for example, or her disarm move, while you are falling down from the trap hit. So you have to set up the round with Ruixiang. It's not that bad if you like that kind of character, a bit passive. I can say passive, yeah. I think I can, but I don't really like her. Anyway, we go to the number 10, which is Yagyu Jubei. Okay, Yagyu Jubei is a great character. I already saw on the internet, on YouTube, a lot of people playing Yagyu Jubei as their main. I think he has an overpowered weapon switch technique, which is quite good because it deals like he creates like a wall, and you cannot pass unless you have some kind of replica attack, so a teleport that can teleport you behind Jubei, and so you can counter him, or if he has his rage maxed out, you better step back a bit and wait for him to calm down. Then he has a good combo with neutral and DP with the Dragon Punch. His Dragon Punch is quite good, especially in rage form, and he has even some projectile to throw. I think anyway that to master Yagyu Jubei, you should be able to use his counter moves. His counter moves are great. They deal a lot of damage, but they are really hard to use because the timing is really short and the window time is small, and you can choose if parry. You can choose to parry the high, the medium, or the low attack, so it's a bit harder than a normal parry. But the difference is that if your opponent is jumping, usually you cannot deflect or parry a jump attack, and with Yagyu Jubei you can. It's hard, but you can. Okay. Character number 11 is Shiki. Okay, Shiki is a sad story. She is a sad story. Her reach is not good. Her moves are too punishable. Shiki will get a lot of damage, so you must be smart. You must be a bit turtle. Okay, so you have to play in defense, master her moveset. The matchup is most of the time is negative for Shiki. An opponent, for example, that can throw DPs or can throw DPs and projectiles like Hadouken or stuff like that, it's gonna be a nightmare with Shiki. Someone, I read on Reddit that someone is already asking for a Shiki buff. Let's see what happens, okay? Okay, after Shiki we have Kyoshiro Senryo. Kyoshiro is a good character. I think he's a good character because he has several techniques, very different one from each other. He has DPs, he has throwing projectile like a big wave, he can do like a breath of fire, stuff like that. He has like a special grab. He can make a frog, big giant frog appear, and the frog can take your opponent and deal quite a good damage, but it's difficult to connect with that move because it's not a throw, it's a hit, so that your opponents can block it. I don't fancy his aesthetic, but it's not that bad to play. Yoshitora is a great character. The only downside of Yoshitora is the flowery thing. Beside the flowers, with time I got used to the flowers, but at first I said, this look, I don't know, the character looks manly, but the flowers, they really hold this man down. I don't know how to say it properly, but I think you got what I mean. Anyway, this is a great character. He wields 7 different katanas, and each of his attack is like a 3, 4, 5 hit combo. So if you can hit your opponent with some neutrals, you're gonna deal a lot of damage. Plus he has a lot of different special techniques that varies from running attacks to, for example, DPs. He has a special move which you can do it only if you already hit with all his special moves. So it's quite difficult to achieve it, I think, especially on your first game, but you can slowly you can understand how to connect with each special move, and when you unlock the final special move is like a big super special move, and it just runs all over the screen, and your opponent will be in absolute danger because you don't need the rage bar to do that. Obviously, if you are facing some character with replicas, you have the ninjas like Galford or Hanzo, they can manage to exit this situation. But if you are, for example, your opponent has Shiki, yeah, there's not so much she can do to counter Yoshitora Tokugawa. Okay, after Yoshitora we have Nakoruru. Nakoruru is a strange character. Usually I don't like the small characters. I don't like the big fat characters. I don't like the small characters. I like the medium character, you know, but the average character. But Nakoruru surprised me quite a bit because I tried her in the story mode and her moves are quite good. She has like several dashes, and she can grab her eagle, which name is Mama Haha, I think. Okay, so she can grab. It gives her a lot of mobility. Okay, so this is quite good. And another thing, she has a special move that can once again return to the center, to your opponent, the projectile he's launching at you. So it's quite good in offense and in defense too. The last two characters, obviously, are the ninjas. The ninjas, I think they are the hardest character to understand and to master, because they have a lot of special moves, a lot of different special techniques, and you can choose the best special technique based on the situation. But in the first place, if you start Samurai Shodown today, it's really difficult to understand which kind of special technique you can use in one situation, and especially use it when you are maybe online fighting on a ranked match or stuff like that. So I think that it would be better to use this kind of characters, the ninjas, a bit later in the game, just to focus on the first time on the basics, which are very important in this game, and are really difficult. Some basics are difficult to get used to them. Okay, like the deflect, for example, or the recoil cancel, or for example, the stand-up punish and the stand-up options. So Galford as well as Hanzo, they both have a throw which can be done in the air. If you manage to get your opponent in the air in front of you, you can grab him with just pressing the kick button. I think forward and kick. Let me check. Yeah, forward and kick. And they can play, I mean, in the same way, 80% in the same way if they are with or without weapons. So this kind of stuff is really good, because Galford can count on his puppy, can use his puppy, his dog, and puppy is like a special weapon. He can throw puppy in the air towards the enemy, and so it doesn't matter if you don't have your sword, you can just throw puppy. that's fine. And Hanzo has some different techniques, like for example the flame technique, and yeah, the throws. Let me check what. Yeah, he has a lot of teleport. Okay, but it's quite difficult to use the teleport at the first place. You have to understand a bit more the mechanics. Both of them have a strange, very singular move. If you get caught in a multiple hit attack, you can use this move to teleport yourself outside the attack. So that's very nice, but it's very difficult to do it. Very difficult. These characters are really hard to understand, and especially to master, but I think they are most satisfying to understand and to master. And once you understand how to use them, for your opponents would be very difficult to counter your movement and your special techniques, because you have so many tools on your side. That's why I placed them at the end of this tier list for a beginner. Okay, if I see that you guys like this kind of content, I can maybe create a more in-depth guide to Samurai Showdown. And I already made, for example, in Italian, the guide on the basics of Samurai Showdown. I divided into two guides. In one guide I explained how to set up your bot in the training mode, and on the other guide I explain how attack, defense and rage works in Samurai Showdown. So if I see that there's enough of you that like this kind of contents, I can translate them from Italian to English quite easily, and we can start together to learn and understand how Samurai Showdown works if you are new. And if you are some kind of veteran, you can always help me to better understand this kind of game, this game in particular, because I really like the pace of the game, the style of the art of the game, and yeah, I think that this Samurai Showdown can go on for a very long time, since there are a lot of people which are still playing the Samurai Showdown from 1990, for example. So I think that this one can be a masterpiece for the series and for the fighting game in general. So I hope that you liked this video, and if you liked it, just remember to give me a thumb up, subscribe to my channel, and if you have something to suggest, to say, or to add, just leave me a comment, and see you guys on the next video. Bye bye.